Hello, District 42 Toastmasters. For those of you who may not know, my name is Lynette Theriault, and I am the District Chief Judge for this current Toastmasters year for all of District 42. I am part of the team that has been working feverishly behind the scenes, trying to get ready for our upcoming contest season. This is the timer briefing. I will be briefing you on the role of timer, what the expectations are, where you need to be and when, and exactly how to perform the role. Let's start by looking at what we need to do before the contest begins. We need you as timers, and really we're asking this of most of the contest officials, we need you to delete any profile picture that you have currently on your Zoom account. You will be naming yourself either Timer 1 or Timer 2, and those associations will be sent to you in the confirmation email that you will receive from me with the names of all the judges, ballot counters, and timers for your particular contest. In that, you will be listed as either Timer 1 or Timer 2, and on the day of the contest, you will rename yourself to that. If you have a profile picture, we ask that you please delete it now, and if you're not quite sure how to do that, I'm going to share my screen here. I'll let my computer catch up and show you where to go to delete your profile picture, just in case you have one up there and you can't remember how to get rid of it. And this can be done in the reverse if you do not have a profile picture currently and you want to do one later. I have my basic Zoom screen up here, and up in the corner there is a little icon with my picture, my Google picture on it, and all I have to do is go down to my profile. That will bring up everything about me that is my Zoom account, including a picture that I've put up there. And all I need to do to get rid of it once I have signed in, and I didn't have to sign in now because I'd already signed in. You may have to sign back into your own account if you aren't already. And all you need to do is click on delete, say, yes, I want to delete my picture, and the picture will be gone. The reason that we want you to do that ahead of time is often it requires coming out of Zoom and then going back into Zoom to have the change take effect. We do not want you to have to do that in the midst of trying to get ready for the contest. It's too confusing to have people coming and going. Now, the other thing that I will show you on my screen here is, because I can't show you within Zoom itself, but I have here essentially a screenshot of what the bottom part of your Zoom screen looks like. And if you click on the participant icon, that will load up all of the participants that are in the meeting. In this particular case, when I took this screenshot, there were 8 people. Once it shows the participant screen, usually on the right side of your screen, you can go to rename, and you can rename yourself at that time. And again, you'll be either timer number 1 or timer number 2. Now, when it comes to the contest itself, timer 1 and timer 2 have 2 different roles. Timer 1 will be the key timer for the contest. We ask you to beforehand, both of you, to download the backgrounds, the virtual backgrounds of the timing screens. Those are really a key element and much better than holding up timing cards or objects. If you hold up timing cards or objects, you essentially are the biggest part of the screen that or a decent portion of the screen that the speaker will see, and it can be very distracting for them. So what happens oftentimes though when we use virtual backgrounds, and I'm sure you've seen it in a meeting already or you've experienced it for yourself, not all computers do virtual backgrounds really well, and often the speaker tends to disintegrate into it. It's fine if you're sitting still, but you'll even notice some sort of haziness around me as I move in front of my virtual background. Now, a trick to that is to take a piece of some kind of opaque sticker. This is simply a piece of a mailing label. And all you need to do is cover the camera with that piece of opaque sticker, and that will take away you but allow your virtual background to be seen. So you can see now I've covered my camera, my virtual background can be seen. As a timer, what we ask you to do, and both timers will do this, as you download the virtual screens from the D42 website, you will get a black screen, a green, a yellow, and a red. You'll have these screens up, even though you are named as timer 1 or timer 2, that's just for us in the background to know who you are. But you'll see that this black screen has timer written on it, and that's just to let the person know that yes, indeed, the timer is there. These are the appropriate screens. At that 5-minute mark, and remember that both of these contests do have the classic 5 to 7 minute speech. So at the 5-minute mark, you will put up the green screen that you have downloaded. At the 6-minute mark, you will put up the yellow screen. And at the 7-minute mark, you will put up the red screen. And exactly the same as we do for in-person contests, that red screen will stay illuminated until the speaker has stopped speaking. You'll notice as well that we have also put the words green, yellow, and red on these screens so that and if we have any speakers who happen to be colorblind, that will not be an issue for them. If we go back to my regular virtual background and take off my little sticker, you can see that now we're back to where we are. Now, one of the questions that a lot of the speakers have is how on earth are they going to see the timer, especially if we have an awful lot of people at the meeting. Well, how that works is what will happen is the speakers are told to mute all non-video participants. As you do that, the only video screens that you will see are those who have their camera running. Only 3 people that will have their cameras running during the speech contest itself are the speaker and the 2 timers. If the speaker chooses speaker view, which is what's recommended, they will take up the largest portion of their screen, and the 2 timers will be in gallery view across the top. That keeps the timers front and center for the duration of the speaker's speech. So it is not a problem at all, and you will see exactly how that works, and everyone will have a chance to practice that at the contestant briefing, which will take place the day before the weekend of contests. So anytime we have contests on Saturdays and Sundays, that will happen on Friday night. If we have a Friday night contest, that will happen on the Thursday. And it is asked that you, as timers, participate in the timer briefing in the contestant briefing with them so that they can have a chance to see and practice and understand exactly what those timing backgrounds look like. So again, timer number 1, your job is to display the timing signals. You will keep track of time and you will record that time on the timer sheet. And that timer sheet will have been provided to you in your confirmation email. Timer 2, your position is critically important. You are a backup timer. You will do all of the same things, but you will not display the colored backgrounds unless necessary. What makes it necessary, you ask? If something was to happen to timer 1, if their internet connection was to fail, they had a power outage at their house, they got distracted and lost in the speech, you need to be at the ready with your timing backgrounds ready to go so that you can take over should anything fail with timer 1. My recommendation is that you do this on about a 5-second delay. We know that our timing begins as soon as the speaker gives their first visual or verbal cue. Both timers will start their timers as that happens, but we know you might be a second or 2 off. That's okay. The official timing happens with timer 2. That's going to be our official time if there's a discrepancy between the 2 timers. So timer 1, you're timing and you're recording, but you're displaying the signals. Timer 2, you're the backup, you are timing, you are not displaying the signals unless necessary, and you are recording that time on the timer sheet. And that will be the official recorded time. Just because you have less balls in the air, that's going to be the official time. Now, should you notice that timer number 1 is not displaying that green, yellow, or red screen when appropriate, give it about a 5-second wait. And if they still have not done so, then timer 2 will then display those signals. As soon as that happens, try to communicate with timer number 1 and see what the problem is. For that, you can use the private chat feature, not the regular chat. Go through private chat. They will be called timer number 1 in the private chat. See if you can connect with them that way. You will also have access to their cell phone number. You could try connecting with them that way. Though that's not my recommended method because they're probably using their cell phone to time and we don't want to distract them on their phone. If timer number 2 has taken over for timer number 1 for whatever reason, they will continue to be the timer until the end of that particular speaker's speech. We do not want the speaker confused with different timing devices going off during their speech. It could be rather disconcerting for them. So if timer 2 steps in, they continue to be the timer until the end of that speech. For the next speaker, if everything is back on track with timer number 1, timer number 1 will take back over again, and we go back to the way that it was. When all the speakers are done and the contest is over, both timers will send their timing sheets to the chief judge and the 2 ballot counters. You will have been given their contact information ahead of time. You have 2 options to do this. You can take a picture and text it. If you're using it on your computer in the PDF, the fillable PDF file, you can simply fill that out and email it. Text messaging is much preferred though, simply because it tends to be faster and we don't have that often what is a lag with trying to get email through the system. So text messaging is definitely preferred. Should the speaker get disconnected for whatever reason, which could very well happen, it's critical that both timers record exactly the time that they got disconnected and record a couple of words of their speech, or at least an idea of where they were in their speech, so that when we get that speaker back on track, we can let them know where in their speech they were, what time they were at, and we can also, at the end of their speech, we will give them a grace period of 30 seconds. So that will be added onto their time at the end. So for example, a disqualification would no longer happen at 7 minutes and 31 seconds. In that case, it would be at 8 minutes and 1 second. So the speaker gets a little bit of a break there. We are hoping that that won't happen, but should it, make sure that you record the time so that you know where to start up again, and make sure that you let them know where they were in their speech when the failure happened, because they might not be aware that they're no longer online, but the rest of us will be. So the chief judge will step in and stop the contest if we lose our speaker, and you will have recorded exactly when that happened and where they were in their speech. Okay? If you have any further questions with regards to your role as timer, please feel free to contact me at contests@d42tm.org. It is a requirement that you attend one of the 3 training sessions offered by the district. We had a training session on Saturday, April the 11th. We have 2 more training sessions on Wednesday, April 15th and Thursday, April 16th. Those, along with this video briefing, really make up the bulk of the briefing. There will be a very short briefing session before every contest. We ask that you show up no less than 15 minutes early, preferably closer to 30, at which point you will be taken to a breakout room with the contestants and the Toastmaster for the contest, and everyone will have a chance to practice and understand the timing devices. There are lots of opportunities to get this right, lots of opportunities to practice, lots of opportunities to play around with the tech and make sure that we know what we're doing by the time we get to the official contest. I thank you for your time in watching this briefing. I thank you for your time in volunteering for these contests. Our members could not do this without you, and I look forward to seeing you at the contests and working with you. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.